Hey guys, how's it going? Younggutter89 here with you guys. First off, thanks for checking out the channel. As always, feel free to like, share, subscribe. You'll take a look at some other videos. So what we're going to be taking a look at today is my Weatherby Vanguard Series 2 chambered in 257 Weatherby Magnum. Now this rifle is a rifle that I like to recommend to a lot of people. Anytime someone asks me, hey, I'm looking to get into hunting, or I'm looking to buy my husband, or I'm looking to buy myself a new bolt action rifle, what should I get? Most of the time, people don't have a real high budget, and I am kind of a snob. If it was up to me, I'd say, get like a Remington Sendero or a Weatherby Mark V or something along those lines. But oftentimes, that's out of most people's price range. So, looking at a new firearm, some of the lower end ones we have our Savage Axis and our Ruger Americans that come in roughly around $350, $400, give or take. And then, for once you get into like the $500, $550 price range, you open the door to these Weatherby Vanguards as well as some Remington Model 700s, both of which are great rifles. A little bit more can get you into like a Savage Model 110. Also, you can get into some of the Tikas, and I believe Kimber's offering pretty good rifles for around $700 price point for bolt action rifles. Now, I like to recommend these Weatherby Vanguard Series 2s simply because of the features and what you're getting for the amount of money. These are a screaming good deal. Are they the best rifles on the planet? That's ultimately, a question that I can't answer. But they are a really great rifle. And I can tell you from a history of having several of them over the years that they're fantastic firearms. Now this one, I don't know how long I've had it. It's been at least 4 years, if not longer. This is, of course, you can tell a stainless steel model. Stainless steel is going to cost you a little bit more. I happened to stumble across a great deal. I actually got this for the same price as the synthetic blued ones. So I paid $549 for this rifle several years ago, and I've had it for a while. I immediately topped it with the Nikon 4-12 BTC retinoscope, which we're going to take a look at in a later video. But it has been a very, very great gun for me. Now you may be saying, well, it's a Weatherby, I don't want a Weatherby caliber. They offer them in standard calibers, anything from a 223, a 243, 7mm, your 270s, your 30-06, your 300 Win Mags. They also offer them in 6.5 Creedmoor, I believe. That's a very popular cartridge nowadays. And I have seen some 7mm 08s out there as well as some other ones. You may want to check into it. They don't offer them in all the standard calibers, but most of the more common ones. If you are looking for a Weatherby caliber or want to try it, they offer them in 240, 257, and 300 Weatherby. So you can't get your 7mm or your 270 Weatherby Magnums, but you can get your 270 Winchester or your 7mm Rem Mag if that's what you want. If you want one of the other specific Weatherby calibers, you're going to have to step up to a Mark V or get it rebarreled. These are great guns. They have a simple 90-degree bolt throw, very smooth bolt, very tight. You can see the bolt is fluted and does have gas ports. 3-position safety all the way back gets you safety in the bolt's locked. In the middle is safety and you can work the action. And then, of course, all the way forward is the bang switch fire. The trigger on this rifle is fantastic. That's why I say, for what you're paying for, it's a fantastic deal. Now, you may ask me, what's so special about it? What makes it a good deal? Well, these rifles, out of the box, are guaranteed to be sub-minute of an angle at 100 yards. A minute of an angle at 100 yards is approximately 1 inch. Now, if you're somebody who can't hit water if you fell out of a boat with a bolt-action rifle, then you're not going to be able to shoot sub-minute of an angle. But what that does guarantee is that if you are a half-decent shooter, or if you have a good rest and can practice fundamentals and get it down, and you try a couple of different factory loadings, one of those loadings they guarantee to shoot under a minute of an angle, under an inch, 3-shot group. Now that is a great guarantee because oftentimes to get a sub MOA rifle, you have to spend a good chunk of change. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the cheapest sub MOA rifle on the market right now. Some of the Tikas are sub MOA. They're also about $700. I've seen Kimber's offering some rifles that are sub MOA. They're also in the $700 price range. Whenever you get over $1,000, that opens up the door. But again, this is a $550 rifle. Now, they do offer this in wood, and they do offer it with some pretty crazy stocks. I've seen some stocks with flames on it, and I believe there were some USA pattern stocks and different patternings on them and stuff like that, camo and all that fun stuff. That's going to add a little bit to the cost, but just for a base one is what we're talking, $550. That is a screaming good deal. They come with 24-inch barrels. Of course, they do offer them in a carbine version with the 308 and other different configurations and stuff as well. But your base one's going to be a 22 or 24-inch barrel typically. They have a detachable magazine on some of the models, and on most of the models, though, they're going to have this hinge floor plate. It is not really spring-loaded. By that, I mean there is a spring in here, but it doesn't shoot out like some of the Remington Model 700s do. I'm not a big fan of that. This rifle is just a great rifle. Again, a sub-away rifle with a great trigger for $550. What can you not like? Oh, and the other thing about this rifle, the ergonomics. They are fantastic. If you see this stock, this is kind of a signature Weatherby style stock. They took a lot of time years ago in designing these stocks, and they use them in pretty much all of their rifles. The way they design these stocks is so the recoil goes away from your face. A lot of rifles with a straight top on the stock, oftentimes a lot of that recoil and a lot of that pressure can be exerted towards the shooter's face. Being that it's propping your face up, this stock, the way it's designed, it sort of mitigates the recoil down a little bit more. It doesn't really affect how the recoil actually feels in your shoulder as far as the poundage. It more affects, the concussion and where it sends the concussion. They're really nice. Also, they look, definitely nice. I like this look better than a straight, across the top look. Also, it raises up your cheek, and they typically are very good in line with the scopes. So it's a very nice option. You don't have to worry about adding like a cheek pad or anything like that to it. Of course, you can if you want to, but the way it is, it's designed so that way you don't have to. And this is a factory stock. This is the same stock you would find on that $550 gun. The only difference is, of course, mine is stainless. Overall, it's a great gun. It's a very good shooter. If you get a Savage Axis or a Ruger American, you may be very happy with it. But for a little bit more money, I would definitely look into one of these. I had a friend of mine who has a Savage Axis, and it wasn't a bad gun. I'm not going to bash it, but it definitely wasn't a sub-minute of an angle shooter. I also had a Ruger American that was about 1.25 inches MOA at 100 yards. So again, not sub-minute of an angle. Is that a big deal to you? Maybe not. But it's always nice for, an extra $100, you're getting a rifle that is going to shoot good. This rifle, different loadings give me a little bit different results. It's all in the harmonics of the barrel. That's why they can't say, well, if you get it in a 30-06, 180 grain Barnes TSX bullet will get you something at an angle. That's why they can't say that. The rifles, they're factory rifles. They're a little bit different. Each of them have their own different harmonics. They're slightly different, and that's why you have to try a different load. I know some people may look at that and say, that's maybe confused by that. But different rifles have different pressure points and stuff like that, even though they're the same model. It's not that big of a deal, but just try a couple different of your more higher end loads. Try some Hornady offerings, try some Nosler partitions, try some AccuBonds, try some ballistic tips. Most of the bullets I've tried through this gun shoot sub MOA. This gun really likes the 115 grain Nosler ballistic tips, the 257s. They're pretty good. I personally prefer 110 AccuBonds just because of the performance of the AccuBonds out of this high velocity bullet. That typically gets me about a 5/8 3-shot group if I'm on my game. Again, if you can't hit water, if you fell out of a boat, you're not going to have any luck shooting sub-minute of an angle. So don't try to blame the gun. But with if you try a couple different loads and you're a good shot, I guarantee you can get one under an inch 3-shot group at 100 yards. So we're going to flip this rifle over and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. I'm also going to roll in footage of the trigger press, and you can see how nice the trigger is. So taking a look at the trigger, now this rifle is unloaded. You guys are just going to have to trust me here. It is on fire, and I'm going to show you this trigger. So you have a little bit of take up. You're going to hit a wall. Very light, very minimal over travel, if anything. Very great trigger. Okay guys, so taking a look at the other side of this rifle, you'll see starting from the back, it has a real nice rubber butt pad, real nice Monte Carlo stock, what the Weatherbys are known for. Really gets your eye in line with the scope good. This right here, this knob is to release the bolt to get it out of there for cleaning purposes or bore sighting. Made in Japan. We talked about this rifle is made at the same place the Howa 1500s are made. Weatherby in their location, Vanguard, and then caliber. This is a 257. 24-inch barrel, Nikon 4-12 BDC reticle scope on it. I don't know who makes this sling. It's black on this side, gray on this side. I bought it a number of years ago. It's kind of dirty. It's got blood and water dumped over it for a number of different years now. This is a really nice gun. One thing worthy of note for 2017, December of 2017, the 2018 start of the year, all the Vanguards are going to they're going to have 26-inch barrels for your magnums. This one's a 24-inch barrel. They've been like that for a number of years, but Weatherby finally listened to us and made the Vanguard with 26-inch barrels for your Magnums. Also, they're going to offer the new 6.5 by 300 Weatherby in a few of the Vanguards. So it's really nice if you want to get into a 6.5 by 300 Weatherby. You can get it in a cheaper Vanguard that's sub-MOA. So that's a really nice, great feature. This gun is easily sub-MOA. Most times it's half MOA. A matter of fact, if I show you a target here, this is at 200 yards. So sub-MOA at 200 yards is approximately a 2-inch group. This is a flyer here. This was completely my fault. I wasn't, warmed up, wasn't ready to shoot. But this was my first shot after the flyer. And you can see I was a little high, so I adjusted slightly, and I came down to here, and I shot these two. And then I adjusted again, and I let the barrel cool down, let the wind die down because it was kind of windy. And then I came back and shot these three at 205. With the wind was died down pretty good, and I took my time to squeeze off all three of these. So you can see these are very good shots. That's actually about a 3/4 group. It's in between 5/8 and 3/4, but we'll just call it 3/4. 3/4 inch group at 200 yards. So that's under half minute of an angle right there. So that's really good. A lot of people will ask, what caliber should I get? And that's a good question. What I like to recommend people, 7mm 08. 7mm 08 is a great cartridge. It'll kill anything in North America, given that you have a good play shot and a good bullet. It doesn't matter how big your cartridge or how manly you feel. If that cartridge kicks and you flinch and you get a bad play shot, it's not good. I'd rather have a cartridge with a little bit less power, but something that's easier to shoot than a bigger caliber that I can't shoot worth a fuck. 7mm 08 is a great cartridge. Also, 7mm Red Mag's great if you can handle a little bit more recoil or want a little more range. 257 is a great cartridge for deer. You can kill bigger game, but you're limited as far as your range on those bigger game animals. 257 is great for a specific deer purpose gun. Obviously, you can kill bigger game with it, but I use my 257 for deer only, and I use it for longer range shots. Typically, I hunt blinds on the edge of fields, and I have shots ranging out to about 600 yards. The 257 can comfortably and humanely kill a deer at about 650 yards with a 110 AccuBond, which is what I like to use. So it definitely has more than enough power for what I needed it to do, and it does it in a humane fashion, really fast, really low bullet drop, and pretty low recoil. But if you're looking for just a suggestion on caliber, you couldn't go wrong with a 7mm 08. Also, they offer it in 270 or 30-06 if you're interested in those standard calibers. I prefer 7mm 08 over both of those, but it's personal preference. You get less recoil with the 7mm 08 and typically better ballistic coefficients. You still have a lot of energy with that projectile. But nonetheless, there's a lot of great cartridges out there, so choose one that fits you comfortably, choose one that you'll be happy with, and most importantly, choose one that you're comfortable shooting with. Again, if you choose a big caliber and you flinch and you can't shoot accurately with it, then it's no good. I'd much rather have a lower recoiling caliber that I can shoot accurately than a bigger caliber that I'm not consistent with. So guys, take that, for what it's worth. Look into the Vanguards. The Vanguards are great rifles. For the price point, they're tough to beat. I mean, you're getting a rifle that is a much better rifle than a Savage Axis or a Ruger American, and you're getting a rifle that's guaranteed to shoot good groups for a little bit more money. Has a much better trigger, just all around a fantastic gun. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Go take a look at some other videos. God bless, and have a good one.